Hello, welcome back to another episode of the Holton Talks, joined today by Jamie Acton and myself, Scott Acton. How you doing, mate?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good. Villa 1, Bournemouth 0 then. Obviously a good, massive 3 points, actually. Let's not just call it a good 3 point Saturday. Much needed to keep us in the hunt. 1-0, away win, clean sheet. Apart from probably the red card, just an all-round good day, really, on it. What's your initial take on what happened Saturday?
Yeah, no, I thought it was a boring game when you think about, from a Villa's perspective. But as an Unai Emery masterclass, really, I put the link in our group chat to that. I think it's called Back of the Net, the Bournemouth podcast,
Yeah,
and they basically and they interviewed all the fans coming out, and every single the title of the video was something along the lines of Iraola tactical mismatch or something like that. And they all just were full of praise for Emery, full of praise for our players. The fact that, because they've done a preview as well, and they all said that they thought that they were going to win because they thought it'd be tough, but they thought they were going to win because of our high line, and they thought we might press them a bit, but we hit quite a low block, and we were really time wasting from minute one. Not excessively, but I thought we were, especially when they're on the ball, we're fouling them quick on the transition. I think Booba got away with three or four, just disrupting the game, and it was just a proper away performance, knowing that we were going to get 3 or 4 chances, and we had to have taken one of them because we knew we weren't going to let them into much. And thankfully we did, obviously, through Ollie.
Yeah, the first kind of, I don't know, 40 minutes, maybe, up until Asensio hit the post. Not apart from maybe the Ming incident, which we'll get on to. There wasn't really much going on, was it? I mean, we were never. I didn't feel like we were out of control. Like we were never not in control of the game. They weren't offering a lot. And then obviously we had that little spell where Asensio hit the post. And then what was it? Then the Kamara header. Then obviously the Cash header on the rebound, and then obviously we scored not long after that. Just touch on the Mings elbow. What was your take on that?
When I first saw it, I thought that they were going to review it and then send him off because he's kind of had a glance over his shoulder. The height comes into it because if someone who isn't 5'7" is there, he wouldn't have connected the way he did with Alex Scott. So it's a hard one. If the shoe's on the other foot, I know that the Villa fans would be saying, "God, he's got to go." Like that again. If that was Senesi and Watkins, and he's had a glance over and he's seen the pressure and he's gone like that, leading with his elbow. That's the problem, isn't it? He hasn't really gone away like with his elbow with his arm relatively flat, and coming across like that with his arm. He's gone quite like that with his elbow, which is obviously, for me, I've seen people sent off for worse. But going a bit off topic, this is what frustrates me with VAR, because they don't give it, and they look at it and they think, you know what, yeah, fair, we're not going to send him off for that. But if, I can't remember who the ref was, but if he gave a red card initially, VAR wouldn't look at it and then go, actually, let's overturn that. It don't look like a red card. They just go with what the ref goes with, if that makes sense. But it's hard for the ref to see in that time. Because when I first looked at it, I thought it was a good bit of play by Mings. He's drawing the foul. But yeah, that's just a frustrating bit with VAR and refs and referees. At the minute, they don't have the minerals to overturn a decision like that, in my opinion. Like, because he doesn't give red card, so VAR would say, yeah, that's fine. But if he gave red card, I think the VAR wouldn't have then overturned it. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I know what you mean. Again, a bit obviously off topic, but I don't think the Jackson one. I would have. I'm not sure the Jackson one was a red card either.
Yeah, see, I was just saying, obviously, it was clumsy, but I don't.
Yeah, they're both looking. I just think, at what point are you not allowed to put your arms up? Like we both play. We know you got you. It's unfortunate that they both caught him with the elbow, and it looks worse because they're looking. But at what
Mm,
point can you not put your arm up to try and block an opponent?
yeah,
You know,
I know what you mean. Yeah.
if he gets him on the forearm, I know obviously. I mean, I think they said he fractured his jaw, so obviously it's quite bad. But Ty's obviously a big guy. Um,
Mm.
so at what point do you? Yeah, well, I think. I mean, he didn't get booked, did he?
No, but the
So
VAR can't intervene on a booking anyway or anything like that.
obviously, the initial reaction from the ref would have just been, you know, um, it's not dangerous play. It's not even a yellow. There was no
Mm.
reaction from the Bournemouth player. So um, surely, it's just one of them things. But obviously, we got a touch on it. I feel like they made a bit more of a meal of it than they needed to.
They always would, though, wouldn't they?
Well, yeah.
To be
Um,
fair, barring the early goal is the only really other talking point that they had.
yeah, there wasn't, like I
Nothing.
said, apart from when Asensio hits the post, and then I felt like for about 5 minutes, Asensio was really involved. He had that bit of play where I think he obviously he did he. I think Ramsey, a little layoff around the corner, he ran onto it. He played it out wide to Luca Dini, then across for Kamara. Um, he probably should score, but a bit of a nosebleed position for him to be there. But obviously the goal then comes not long after that. Was it a free kick to start with? I think on it, we obviously it gets cleared. Semenyo tries running it out instead of just putting your foot through it like you probably should there. Uh,
Mm.
Good tackle by Cash. We'll obviously get onto him because he was really good on Saturday. Um, Morgan Rogers. We've obviously been speaking about this for a while. I don't think anyone particularly likes him playing off the right, but I listened to something over the weekend which said the last 6 games that he's played from the right, he's got 6 goal involvements.
Mm.
So it feels like he's not as involved, but his numbers are still pretty good.
Yeah, I feel like if he's going to be on the right, you need someone through the middle to be worthy enough of occupying his space, if that makes sense. Like Sensor at the start was obviously doing the business. Obviously, he's gone off the boil a little bit, but even again on Saturday, you still see the bits of class that only he could kind of produce. So yeah, I think with Rodgers on the right, I mean, I don't. For me, I think obviously barring Martinez and maybe Tielemans, I think he's probably our best player when he plays centrally. But if Unai obviously sees something with him playing on the right, whether it's because he wants to try fit both him and Asensio in, I'm not sure, but he loves him off the right. But like it shows that like he does nothing, and then as soon as the goal goes in, that's why he's there because yeah, it's like I says like he provides that bit of quality, hence why he plays 90 minutes all the time and never gets taken off, like because he comes up for moments like that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a brilliant cross to be fair, wasn't it? Right in a nice area, and a deft little touch by Ollie. We'll obviously get on to him now. Another big goal. I kind of feel like a prime Emery away performance, and I'll think of Everton this season. Watkins scored the winner. Um, it's kind of he normally is the one that's if we're winning 1-0, it's normally him that's popping up with a goal. Uh,
Yeah,
that's obviously I've just written 75 goals in 182 games. That's some go in that, to be fair.
yeah, and the assist probably takes him near 100, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't know what his overall goal involvements are, but I mean he gets a lot of flack, doesn't he, Ollie?
Mm.
Not necessarily from us, and yeah, we do maybe criticise him sometimes because he does miss chances, which is fair enough. All strikers do. But you can't really not look at his numbers and think that's impressive.
Yeah, I saw something today that he's got 30 goal involvements this season.
Again, yeah,
It's yeah, it's just like I think he got 39 last year, so say just 30. He got 39, got 30 this year. That's just there is the amount of goal involvements that he's getting. I don't know what he got the year before. I know he got 15 goals. I don't know how many assists he got, but just the sheer involvement that he has in the team is just he's putting up elite numbers again. And people have said that he's had a poor season. Yeah, he's still got 30 goal contributions, which is
yeah,
if you said start a season, if you split in half, he got 15 goals and 15 assists. You're like, Jesus Christ, some season, isn't it? But then you don't. Yeah, it's mad, really. I think again, he gets to his credit in a way. He gets slandered a lot because he gets off his own movement, off his own back. He gets so much joy off defenders, and he gets a lot of opportunities. But it's all through his off the ball movement. Like I think I said last time, I said, you know, I think he's the best off the ball striker in the prep bar, and maybe Haaland. Haaland is really good with his movement, but the amount of chances he creates from his movement alone emphasizes the fact of how many chances he misses because him compared to say I don't know off the top of my head like an Isak for example. Isak is going to be like Isak's obviously a better finisher, we all know that, but Ollie's probably getting an extra chance and a half on average a game because but those chances aren't coming from us doing something special. It's all coming from him, the angles of his runs, and obviously you know what I mean. He creates so many chances off his own back
yeah,
that it makes it a lot more obvious when he misses those chances because he's getting more than the average striker.
yeah. But that now I think he's got 16 in the league this season. Yeah. There ain't many players that are going to hit them numbers season after season. What's this, his fourth or fifth season now in the Prem? Like,
Mm,
I still see a lot of people saying we can get rid of him and replace him. Who with? Like, realistically?
mm. I think no matter who you bring in, obviously Duran's gone now. No matter who you bring in, I don't think we're going to get an upgrade on him because the strikers that are above him in Europe won't come to Villa, like a Gyökeres, for example, from Sporting. He's not going to come to Villa, for example. So
Yeah, but if you had the choice out of them two, who are you picking?
if I'm thinking like a market, because that's how it's like a profit business now. I would take obviously Gyökeres, even though he's not prem proven, but you sell Ollie for say 50. I don't know what Gyökeres' release clause is. He has a release clause. I don't know what it is, but say you get him for X amount, you're selling Ollie at the right time because I think we spoke about it already. Like if you're going to sell Ollie for a big fee to get profit of what we bought on him, you're looking at to get obviously the most profit. You're looking at this summer. So if you let this summer go and we keep him, yeah, he'll get another 35 goal involvements next year. Like he's that good, but you then go to sell him the year after, and his price tag's gone down to 30 instead of you could probably have got 50 this summer. It all depends how they look at it because again, if the reports to be suggested are correct and the whole PSR thing, you sell Ollie for 50, you're making that. I can't remember how much we exactly signed him for, but you're making the profit. Oh god, yeah, 100%. Yeah, but that's just what I'm saying. Like, if you've got a football, like if you've got a Monchi hat on, you are looking at it like if we get rid of him this year, we can bag 50 million, get someone else, and then move on. Whereas if you're looking from like the pure statistical, like how what's gonna benefit us most to get in Champions League football next season, is keeping him in the squad. But then you got to find that right balance. Is selling him now does that level out to having him in the squad, boosting our chance of Champions League next year? Because again, if you don't sign it, if you don't sell him, You lost out on the 50 million, but then he could get you the Champions League, which you then get 80 million from. Whereas you could sell him for, say, you could sell him for 50 million in the summer, and you then don't replace him with no one, or you get someone that isn't as good. Because I said I don't think we'll be able to get someone as good as him, and then you don't qualify Champions League because you're not getting someone that's getting 35 goal involvements a season. So then you missed out on Champions League anyway. So it's how you weigh it up.
What would you do in the summer? Keep or sell?
I tough. I would. Don't know. I don't know. If I had to pick a flip of a coin, I would go. I'll go sell. I'll go sell. If we could get, I reckon we could get about 55, 50 for him this summer. And I just think next summer you're probably looking around 30. Even if he bags, another 20 league goals, you're not going to get a 31-year-old for 50 million. But again, that's just me looking with a finance head on. Again, if we kept him, I'd still be buzzing because I know that no matter what, how many purple patches he goes through, no matter how many barren spells he goes through, he's still gonna, come up with those goals.
Yeah, I would keep, and I would rather, if we had to sell somebody else.
Yeah, who would that player be? Because I have someone in mind. I would.
If
Is
I
it the
had
same person?
one player now, and a big player, Leon Bailey would be one, but I don't think we'd get too much money for him. My big one would be Ramsey, I think.
Yeah, see, the Bailey one is obviously he's wanted by Saudi. So if it's Saudi, it ups it by about 5-10 million. So you're maybe talking 30, 35 maybe for
Yeah,
Bailey at the very most. And then JJ, if you're selling to someone in the Prem, yeah, maybe 55, 60 maybe, even 50. But JJ would be my one as well. Just because it depends what we're doing in the summer. We get Champions League, we sign Rashford, then I'd be happy to kind of see JJ go. Whereas if we don't, then you sell JJ, then who have you got coming off the left? Obviously, I know we'll improve on the summer, but obviously JJ's proven he has the homegrown status, etc. But again, like for profit, get rid of
he's
him.
got
Like I says,
he has a lot of things going for him. I mean, he's a very good player, really good at ball. Good ball carrier. He could probably add more in terms of numbers. Look at someone like Rodgers this season; his numbers are really good. Ramsey's numbers, but the eye test. If you watch Ramsey, you think, yeah, good player. Picks it up, gets it on the half turn. Turns, drives at players, commits players. But maybe, we don't know what they're thinking, but that's probably who I would be leaning towards. I think he's the most replaceable in terms of bringing someone else in. There was Element links today, and I wouldn't want to sell you. I would. So I see something the other day, Conser getting linked to Chelsea. I wouldn't want that. You know, um,
and as a Chelsea fan, he said he was like, "Oh yeah, well if we give him 45, they take that."
yeah,
And some guy, I can't remember his name, he works for Sky. He turned around and he was like, that's Villa's like baby, like they're not going to let him go for 45. You have to pay like 65. I think he was saying about 65 to get Ezri. And I just think with Ezri, he's unbelievable. That is another one though. Like if JJ leaves, I'm like, we can replace that. Whereas Bailey leaves, we can replace that. But if Tielemans or a Ezri leaves,
no,
I'd be it's hard.
Yeah, I can't see Ezzy going. But again, that's just my opinion. We'll just whilst we're talking about JJ, thoughts on his red card. I mean, the second one was really soft, but the first one was stupid.
Yeah, I mean, he was getting ragdolled in that game. I can see why he was frustrated, but you look at other players like when we had Jack. Jack used to get fouled
Yeah,
that every game and more. He never used to. He used to say things to the opposition players, but he'd never get in their face like that, and they'd like lean their head to butt his head against the other player. Like, yeah, first one's stupid. Then the second one, obviously, I think it's Brooks, isn't it? I know Brooks leaves the leg dangling, so he's kind of asking for it. But yeah, like I says, the second one is harsh.
listen,
But
I think you're always getting booked for that, but I think it's a booking.
well, usually the caliber the caliber for like a criteria for the second yellow is supposed to be much higher than obviously the first. 'Cause obviously, then it results in a red card. But like I says, I thought the second one was harsh, but thankfully we held on. And I think the way we set up to start the game with, like, if we were on the front foot, high press, high line, it would have been harder to then adjust to having 10 men. But I feel like because we sat back quite deep anyway, it was basically business as usual, just with a little less attacking threat, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it didn't really change too much, did it? I mean, they had
Nah.
obviously the chance right at the end where Emmy pulls off a great save and then Matty Cash on the line. We were obviously saying in our little Villa group after the game how good Cash and we'll put Onana into that mix as well. I know you're not Cash's biggest fan, but he was really, really good Saturday, and he's been really good since he's had a good run in the team over the last few weeks.
Yeah, no, he's been good since the City game, I'd say, really.
Yeah,
But, like,
probably before
because
that.
that's.
I feel well. I don't know. I feel he's been playing well for the last few weeks since he was chopping and changing a bit with Disassi, wasn't he? But he seems to have Disassi seems to have disappeared again.
Well, it's the same thing with, like, Garcia. When Garcia first signed for us in January, I think out of his first 9 appearances, he started 8 games. And then since then, he's only started Forest at home.
Maybe,
And then
maybe Cash wasn't fully fit, and now maybe he's got over what
maybe.
balls he's got.
I don't know, but yeah, I mean, Fulham at home the week before, last week, class, Bournemouth away. Probably our man of the match alongside Onana or Martinez. Yeah, I mean, the save from Emi, I mean, I've said before about Emi, I love him to pieces. The save from him's outstanding, it's unbelievable. And then Kashi, I don't even know what the goalie gave, I don't know what the ref gave, a goal kick or a corner in the end, I can't remember. But that he done just enough to whether he got a touch or he he done enough to put him off regardless. If he ain't there, Jefferson's putting that in.
Yeah, I don't think he actually got a touch, did he? But obviously, just fully committed to making sure that he gets in the way.
But yeah, but that's half the
Yeah,
job
that's
done, because if Jefferson never got anything on it, then Cash is there anyway, like in the way. So he done enough to put him off. Because like I said, if Cash ain't there, then he comfortably heads that ball in.
yeah. Quick one on Onana because I feel like he deserves a mention. First half in particular, really powerful, really strong, good couple of runs forward, which we ain't really seen too much of him yet. But I feel like he's not necessarily starting too many games recently, but he's looked good in the last few weeks as well.
Yeah, I feel like his drives from midfield are good. It's with Onana because, like, what is he? He isn't a 6. He isn't a 10. He ain't really an 8. You don't really know what he is, but he's someone that physicality, which we desperately need in midfield, with the height. And I was looking from again on that Back of the Net podcast. They were saying that in person, they obviously we went along with throw-ins and obviously our corners and stuff. They said that they were fearing the worst because they said that Villa was just full of giants. Said
Mm.
that you got Mings and Onana coming up through for like a long throw in, It's just like it's not, both 6'4", 6'5". It's just another bonus by having Onana in the team. Again, I thought he was superb. I thought no one's ever going to replace Tielemans. I feel like the most like for like player we have is probably a Barkley, but Barkley's nowhere near Tielemans, especially with the break in the line passes and the driving
Yeah,
from midfield. But
well, you did say that, didn't you? In our WhatsApp chat before the game, like,
yeah,
does he go Onana or does he go Barkley? I think Onana was probably always going to get it just for purely match fitness.
yeah, and then also the way that obviously we didn't know that he was going to sit in and hit on the counter and stuff. So knowing that now, Onana's a clear shout because Onana defensively, him and Buba together is our strongest pair. If you're looking to sit in,
Yeah,
with Tielemans obviously just in front. So if we knew obviously he was going to sit like that, we were so Onana. But I just thought if he was going to, maybe go a bit more forward thinking, get Barkley on the ball a bit more. But obviously we sat in, allowed them to have the ball, and like I said, Onana was perfect. On transition was good. His choice of passing was good. For the first first 5-10 minutes, he was actually quite poor. He gave the ball away a couple of times, but then from that he had a drive and run from midfield that he got fouled, I think, near the edge of their box. And since then, that was like 15 minutes in. Since then, he like I says, arguably man of the match.
yeah. I thought he was really good. And like, to be fair, I love watching Bournemouth. I think they're one of the better sides to watch in the league, and we didn't really let them have anything, did we? Semenyo was quiet, Tavernier was quiet. When I was probably thought the same, but when Justin Kluivert was on the bench, I'm thinking that's a touch.
Yeah,
You know,
I think Dango was injured as well, wasn't
yeah. So looking obviously the last 2 weeks, 2-1-0 wins. You can't say better than that. Obviously now we go into Friday against Spurs. We're now up to 6th on 63, level with Chelsea on 63. I've got the fixtures in front of me. Do you want to give me a results and we'll work out a little tally of what we think it's going to end up with?
he? Yeah, can do. Yeah, all right. Yeah, sound.
So Arsenal we'll throw Arsenal in because they're not that far in front. Newcastle and Southampton.
Are we going like just like win, draw, or loss or whatever?
Yeah, just we'll rattle through it.
I'll probably go Arsenal win.
What, both?
Both, yeah.
So Newcastle got Arsenal and Everton.
Win against Everton. Obviously, the loss against Arsenal.
City have got Bournemouth and Fulham.
See that this is actually quite tough because City, you don't know what to kind of expect. I think they push Haaland in a little too early against Southampton.
Yeah.
So it's tough. Because Bournemouth, that's tricky. Fulham away is tricky as well. All depends because I know Fulham lost to Everton, but if they win their game, and then they got Europe on the line, maybe.
Go on, just throw it at me.
I'll go Bournemouth win, and I'll go draw against Fulham.
Chelsea have got United and Forest.
Chelsea, United, and Forest win against United, and I'll probably go draw against Forest.
Us, we got Spurs and United.
They'll win against Tottenham. United, man. I saw a thing again. I don't want to delay it too much, but I saw a thing today that United in the league have only won one league game since Ruben Amorim has only won one league game as Manchester United manager against a team that hasn't been relegated, which is Fulham away. They won 1-0, and that was an own goal or a deflected shot. They haven't won a game against. If you exclude Leicester, Ipswich, and Southampton, they've only won one game, and that was away from home. That gave.
They are shit.
They are awful, and the Europa League final is obviously their main priority. If they win it, that's the best outcome personally for me because they go out on the lash, they celebrate. No one's then going to come against us with nothing to play for them. But then if they lose, they're going to be down the dumps. I don't think they're going to be looking at the last game of the season. Oh, this is where we can get back to it, lads, because it's last game of the season. They're 17th. They ain't got now to play for. I think God, I need to have my Villa hat off because it's just. I'll go win on both.
All right, Forest have got West Ham and West Ham and Chelsea.
I think draw against West Ham. I thought West Ham were good against United, and the draw against Chelsea as well.
So that would mean Arsenal on 74, Newcastle City and Villa 69, and Chelsea 67 with Forest on 64.
Tight, innit? We have to win both games because of our goal difference. We can't, and the City result when we let it slip last minute. If we got that point, there'd be 2 points less. If I'm not mistaken, we'd be above them now, wouldn't we? If that's the case.
If held on, they would be on 63 and we'd be on 64.
Yeah, it's a kick in the teeth, innit? I was looking at the table Saturday night, and I've got for the Newcastle game. And I said, if we held on for that another 30 seconds, we would have been third. We would have got up to third.
Yeah, well, that would have put us fourth as of now.
As of now Newcastle have played, yeah. But yeah, it's all hindsight. But yeah, no, I think with our goal difference and the City result the other week, we have to get 6 points.
All right, and we're just before we wrap it up, just thoughts on Friday. Obviously, we both know it's a must-win, but we are so good at home. Obviously, we've only still lost to Arsenal. No option but to win, is there?
Yeah, no option. I feel like Spurs as well. See, I said before we went live that Ange just basically confirmed that he's going to play his second team. I know Kulusevski went off injured. I don't know if he's going to be available or not, but they're not going to play any of their.
Evan in the chat will be there Friday.
They're not going to play any of their big boys at all. They're not going to risk any of them. So I expect to see like Mikey Moore, Bentancur play. I know Archie Gray played in midfield. Just their back line. I know they played Porro and Spence, but you expect to see Davies at centre half again. And just they won't have a Bakara in goal. I just think that it's a must win. And if we don't win, or we don't deserve Champions League anyway, because at the end of the day, a second string Spurs team is really like relegation quality when you think about it. Player for player, you got Ben Davies at centre half, you got Jed Spence playing, I think, like left back. You got Archie Gray midfield, who I don't rate at all. You just got players there that like Odebear as well. I don't rate. Just even Brennan Johnson. I know he's chipped him. I think he's our top goal scorer this year, but I just look at him and I think he ain't that great. So you have. I know now these players are going to play and they're all going to score. I know that now, but I look at that team.
I reckon that Spurs is shocking as well. I know he's against like United as well, but
I think we won 1 in 13 or 1 in 14. I think
I saw that the old AVFC stat or something put it up, didn't he?
Yeah, it's just
our record.
The stats and the history. I don't read too much into. Like I remember when we played City and it said about we hadn't won there in 16 games or 16 years or whatever. I said I don't really believe that because a lot of those years we were shit. They were really good.
We're a different team now. So I mean,
100%. Like we played really well against City. We should have got a point. I know we didn't. And Spurs, we won 1 in 13. Like I don't really pay any attention to that whatsoever because there's not a world. I don't think there's a world where Tottenham fans live in where they're looking at this game on Friday and they're like, "Oh yeah, like I'm confident." Like it's completely changed. The whole Big Six has been blown up completely.
Yeah,
so,
Villa and I don't particularly like Newcastle that much, but you've got to take your hats off to Newcastle. Villa and Newcastle are really trying to break the mould, and they can't.
It's not even that. Like you got Forest up there. Like Forest are playing really well this year. You look at Brighton, always competing for European places. You got teams like Brentford that's tough, Fulham that are tough, Bournemouth now that are tough, Palace. Don't even get me started on Palace; they're our bogey team. But you got these teams that are you go away and they come to your place. You're like, it's going to be hard. Like it's only really it's only really the relegation teams that come up and you're like, oh yeah, this is a banker. All the other ones you think like we should win, but I'm not all there. You know what I mean? Like when we play Brentford at home, I'm thinking, yeah, like we should get 3 points, but there's a little inkling in the back of your mind that's like, oh, you know, like Burmo Whistle, they can catch us on the counter, Thomas
Yeah,
Frank. Like it's tough, you know. Like the
yeah.
whole Big Six thing has been blown up.
There is no easy games now at all, you know. And every team has players that can hurt you. That's what we
Yeah.
got to guard against on Friday. That we're not complacent. I feel like we played the two hardest teams out the four left in Fulham and Bournemouth. Wasn't necessarily pretty or our best performance this season, but we got the job done. Don't let yourselves down now by losing at home to Spurs on a Friday night.
I feel like we need to approach like we did the FA Cup. Do you remember we absolutely battered them in the FA Cup? I know it was 2-1, but it could have been a cricket score.
Yeah,
We need to put them on the back foot, like how we do always at home. Put them on the back
yeah.
foot, like take it to them, and see where it takes us because there's no way they'll be able to hold up with us, and I don't think complacency will be an issue. I can't imagine Emery being like, "Oh lads, you know what? They're playing their second string. Let's just take it easy." Like,
I don't think he'd allow it, would he?
no. And again, if we can't beat Tottenham's B team, we don't deserve to be in the Champions League anyway. And if we can't beat United at Old Trafford after they played a few days prior, and hopefully we're still fucking pissed from winning, then we don't deserve to be in the Champions League anyway.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, just the last game of the season, it should be absolutely buzzing up there. You know, the
Oh yeah,
atmosphere
100%. Yeah.
under lights would probably be a better atmosphere than what it would have been if we played. When was the original kick-off time?
Sunday, like 7:15 or something.
Stupid, wasn't it?
I feel like as well the whole thing about it changing as well to benefit them, and when they didn't do it for us, when we had PSG and when we played Lille last year as well, they didn't change the fixtures to benefit us, but they'll do it for one of the Sky Six. I feel like that's gonna have like a, you know, I don't know whether they might boo when the Premier League thing comes on when the players are lined up. I don't know, but that as well will be in the back of everyone's minds. Like we shouldn't be here right now. You know what I mean? So it'll be a really good atmosphere, and
it is a massive joke. It obviously affect quite a few people going a lot of short notice, and then you expect them people just to change everything.
yeah.
You know. Anyway, before we go, let's have some predictions in the comments. And what are you going for?
I actually reckon we're absolutely. This is going to come back to bite me in the ass, but I reckon we're going to blow them out of the water. I really do. I reckon it's going to be like it could be 4 or 5. I don't reckon we're going to rest up whatsoever.
Wow.
Because in the back of my mind, I'm thinking that Unai is also thinking that Forest, goal difference wise, close. If we can just blast them for 5, Forest don't pick up their wins. You know, that might be in the back of his mind. I'm not sure, but I just think that I reckon we're going to absolutely blast them to fuck. I reckon we'll win by 4 or 5. I'll go 5-1.
Wow. Your dad's in the comments. He's gone 3-0 Villa. I think 2-0 or 2-1, something like that. I don't.
More cagey.
I know what Villa are like, mate. Be typical Villa, won't it? They will go give away and you see like the Ramsey red card. It takes one thing that I don't know. You get a bad injury or you get
Yeah.
a red card.
That's the thing, yeah. Like, I mean, I'll take a 1-0 nut sack in the 94th minute. I like for us, like an own goal. I don't care as long as we get 3 points. That's what matters.
Yeah, I also don't think we're battling it with Forest. I now think it's a shootout between us and Chelsea.
Maybe, but then
And
Chelsea have some tough
Chelsea
games.
is really far ahead of us.
Oh yeah, I know theirs is, yeah, but then we've never. I saw the table since Unai's come in, and we're fourth, and our goal difference is like plus 30 something, whereas the team ahead of us is like plus like 90 something like that. It's like in third. I can't remember who's in third. It might be City or I can't remember. There's like plus 90 something, and ours are like plus 32.
Our goal was crap.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, just Unai in it. Like, but that's why I think he's just going to blow them out of the water because we have games like that, like Newcastle, City at home, PSG at home. Like we just come out the gates and we absolutely batter teams. Like high press, high line. Like not necessarily worrying about the opponent's weaknesses because we know that our strengths will, especially at home, will knock them out of the park. But hopefully we win. Like I said, as long as we get 3 points.
Yeah, I mean that's like literally all it comes down to now, and it's 3 points. I saw that since Christmas we're second for most points won. I think it's only Liverpool. They're on about 38. We're on 34. I think we're top of the form table over the last 6 games. The momentum at the right time, so let's just hope we can obviously keep it up and seal off. If we win, obviously Friday, it's been a great season in terms of home games. If you can go a whole season only losing 1 home game, there obviously has been a few sticky draws in there, but a lot to cheer about over the last few years at home, and then obviously as well. So fingers crossed, mate, and we will be back next week. I think we've got a guest for the Man United preview.
Oh yeah, you said
so, might be our first official guest. So Daniel, if you're watching, get ready.
You're not supposed to give away the guest.
I know, but he knows about it. Yeah. Anyway. All right. Well, we shall be back then Tuesday or Wednesday next week, and up the Villa, mate.
Up the Villa.